What is up, everybody? This is Kyle of Church on a Budget PH, and in this video, I'm gonna share to you my thoughts on broadcast mixing. Check this video out. Now, since the pandemic, eto na talaga yung trend ng church natin. We have been doing live stream. And what excites me is nag-step up talaga tayo mga churches when it comes to live streaming. Like, almost every church is still live streaming up until now. Kahit wala ng pandemic, we can meet on-site. Tuloy pa rin yung broadcast. Tuloy pa rin yung live stream natin. We are still reaching people online. But there are thoughts that I have specifically in the broadcast mixing. Before we go into the details of what I think, if you are new to this channel, please lay your hand on the subscribe button so that you won't miss any video that I'll be posting soon. And if you find this content helpful, please click that like button below. Alright, going to live streaming. The audio is arguably the most important part of your church's live stream. So, ito yung pinaka make and break na factor sa live streaming natin. Kasi, we want our people to have clarity sa pagkarinig nila, pagka-receive nila sa message natin. Like from the hosting to worship times to preaching, we want our audience or our church to understand what we are actually saying. So, ito, pinaka-importante talaga. Now, one thing I have noticed with regards to audio sa live streaming is it became more and more complex as time went by kasi churches wanted to improve their church's live streaming audio and they have been looking for ways to do that. So many directions yung pinunta ng mga church natin. And for our church, hindi kami exempted nun. We tried like the 3.5mm option, which is the simplest, like iRig option right here. This saved us from just having phone audio sa system natin. Or some of you may be using a DAW. So talagang nag-Pro Tools ba kayo or Logic or Reaper, which is in our case, yun yung ginamit namin Reaper because it's the most affordable. Tapos dumating dito yung mga plugins, tapos naging masaya tayo kasi yung mga plugins natin nagagamit na natin, mga Waves, mga ganun, mga SSL, Auto-Tune. Yes! Pwede na mag-tune sa live stream natin, and maybe you have done all of these things to maximize or beautify your broadcast audio. All is good and well naman. I'm not hating on all of the improvements that we have done for churches. The first thing that I am concerned about is yung mga tao na nagsiserve sa sound natin. If you have kasi a dedicated broadcast mix, you will have two sound na volunteers. Number one is yung sa house ninyo, which will be mixing your house. And number two is your DAW na system. So, dalawang tao yun. And most often, hindi nagkakasync yung dalawang to. So, for example, so many mistakes like hindi na-on yung mic ni Pastor, hindi timing. Or yung guitar solo hindi narinig kasi hindi nakita sa broadcast na multi-view yung nangyayari dun sa sanctuary. Or hindi na turn up yung volume ng MP3 for the video presentation. Mga ganun na mga issue. And these things happen. And also, another thing is availability ng volunteers. Maybe yung church nyo, konti lang talaga yung volunteers ng sound, which is the most case ng mga tech teams natin. Because let's admit it, it's not a very attractive ministry, like sound team. Wow. Being in the sound team actually, like, it's a very intimidating ministry kasi all of the technical things na kailangan mo doon, faders and so we don't have the luxury of volunteers for this ministry. And probably this is the one thing that I'm concerned about. The people that have been working on the broadcast mix natin are not really equipped to do the broadcast mix through a DAW. Let's face it, mixing in a DAW is more detailed and there's so many things that can go wrong mixing in a broadcast scenario using a DAW. Again, yung synergy, yung pagsisync ng on-site tsaka online. Number two is yung volunteer or people who are working there, kulang. And number three, yung skills na kailangan for the broadcast mix. So, what is our solution? What is something na I have applied here in our church as well? So, what we have been doing in our church for the past few Sundays na is we switched from mixing live stream through a DAW, a computer, or a software to sending an auxiliary mix. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? Kumuha kami ng auxiliary na channel sa mixer namin. Tapos, sinend namin siya dun sa live streaming na computer namin. With that, lahat ng EQ, compression, gate, lahat ng processing, kahit effects namin, same lang sa on-site at sinisend namin dun sa broadcast. Now, baka sabihin nyo, Kyle, actually, tinry namin yan. It didn't sound well kasi hindi nagta-translate ng maayos. We tried sending our main left-right mix dun sa broadcast namin pero hindi siya maganda pakinggan. Exactly the reason why hindi siya magandang pakinggan is because main left-right mix siya. Don't do that. What you should do is an auxiliary output. Dun ka kukuha ng signal. Now, here's the reason why. Pag naka-aux mix ka kasi, you can edit the levels of the thing that you are sending. Kasi sa broadcast mix, normal talaga na hindi siya magsasound na okay. Kasi yung main left-right mix kasi natin is you are mixing sa room. Now, if you're mixing for a broadcast, nawala yung room na factor. Hindi mo narinig yung acoustic drums. Hindi mo rin narinig yung amp ng guitar. And our broadcast mix actually is heard from our phones or our devices. Yung phones natin, may may bias yun sa vocals na EQ. So, ang tendency, sobrang lakas ng vocals, wala nang impact yung drums, tsaka yung bass, tsaka yung other things. Sobrang lakas lang talaga ng vocals. Kasi of course, in your main system, nilalakasan mo yung vocals tas nakababa lahat. Resulting to, hindi balance yung mix natin pag sinend natin yung main left-right mix sa broadcast. So, aux mix fixes that. So, ginawa namin sa auxiliary mix namin is yung drums namin nasa 0 or unity. Okay? Tapos yung bass, in-adjust namin yung bass dun sa drums relative na okay siyang pakinggan. And then, most sa mga inputs namin, like keyboards and guitars, dun lang naman din naglalaro sa frequencies kung saan yung malakas siya sa phone, is hininaan namin yun ng mga 5 dB or mga 6 or even 10 dB kasi sobrang lakas niya. Also, our vocals, hininaan namin siya ng mga 5 dB kasi sobrang lakas ng vocals talaga, normal yun siya. So, kailangan mo siyang bawiin dun sa auxiliary mix. Now, maybe you're asking, paano yun yung mix na yun? Static lang. So, paano pag may nag-solo, hindi siya natataas kasi nandun lang siya, naka-stay lang yung levels niya dun. Now, to address that, your secret weapon is your post-fader na feature. Dapat yung auxiliary mo is naka-post-fade siya para kung ano yung i-adjust mo sa main mix mo, naapektuhan yung broadcast mo. Meaning, kung iaangat mo yung guitar dun sa main mix kasi may guitar solo, relatively aangat yung guitar dun sa broadcast mix. Kasi again, naka-post-fader siya. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng post-fader? Kung ano yung i-adjust mo sa fader dun sa main, yun yung i-adjust dun sa auxiliary na naka-post-fade. Ano bang difference nito sa in-ears? Yung in-ears natin, naka-pre-fader. Meaning, kahit anong galaw mo dun sa fader sa main, hindi magagalaw yung in-ears mo. And that's what you should do for in-ears. For this setup na broadcast na kumukuha ka sa auxiliary, dapat yung auxes mo dito naka-post-fade. Now, for auxiliary mixes as well, very important, dapat naka-stereo siya. Meaning, dalawang aux outputs yung kukuhanin mo. Sa amin, ang kinuha namin is 15 and 16. Nilink lang namin silang dalawa, tapos pinan left-right na yon, automatic, and then dalawang cable papunta dun sa interface namin, and then direkta na siya dun sa broadcast na computer. Now, very important to note, if may stereo kayo na mga devices like stereo electric guitar, stereo keyboard, overheads left and right, importante na dun sa broadcast mix ninyo, ipapan nyo din yon. Hindi siya automatic sa mga mixers na nakapan left and right. You have to manually pan it. So, overheads left goes to the left, overheads right goes to the right, keyboard left goes to the left. So, ima-manual pan nyo yon. Now, it gets tricky dun sa vocals kasi yung vocals ninyo is different yung panning. So, ginawa ko is 5 kasi yung vocals namin. Tapos, yung 3 na nasa gitna, yun lang yung nagli-lead ng worship. Tapos, yung 2 na nasa gilid, hindi yung nagli-lead ng worship. Meaning, backup lang talaga to sila. So, etong nasa labas na mga singer, panned yun left and right to create a depth dun sa mix namin, mas malaki. Experiment on that, and that's something na you can do. Now, same din sa effects. You can use the effects there. Lagyan mo ng effects ang broadcast. And here's a tip. Yung broadcast mix natin, kailangan ng more effects kasi, again, walang room factor. So, pihitin mo yung effects doon and send more kasi kailangan niya yun. Vocal verb, drum verb, and all that. Just be careful with your delays though kasi sobrang evident ng delay sa live stream na mix. So, play around with that. Now, we're down to the last part of this. How do you actually mix for broadcast? Here it is. The foundation of a good broadcast mix is a good live mix or on-site mix. Kung hindi maganda yung on-site mix mo, hindi ka satisfied, pangit siya, you're not using the right gear, you're not using the right effects, yung drums mo out of tune or yung skin mo 20 years old na, yung strings ng guitar mo hindi maganda, it will never sound good in the broadcast. Kasi lahat ng details na yun, mas maririnig mo sa broadcast. So make sure that you have a good on-site mix. You're miking everything right, lahat ng strings napalitan, yung heads bago, yung microphones mo decent, you have a good speaker na in which you're listening to kasi importante yung pag-mix mo, yung reference mo tama eh. Naka-acoustic treatment yung room. If hindi, we have the same challenge kasi that's also a problem sa room namin because of course church priorities, but that will affect your broadcast mix as well. The foundation of a good broadcast mix in this system is again a good or a great on-site mix. So that's something that you have to take note of. So, given all that, na okay na yung on-site nyo na system, tama na yung miking, palitan yung string, what you're gonna do is you mix your on-site the best way you can. Yung levels, happy ka and all that. And then what you need to do is go to your aux mix, listen to it through your headphones, and then adjust some levels. Okay, masyadong malakas yung bass dito sa broadcast, masyadong malakas yung guitar. And then when you're done with that, you're good to go. Put down the headphones, and that is your broadcast mix. Lahat ng i-adjust mo will be adjusted kasi again, naka-post fade siya and everyone is happy. You don't need another volunteer. You will not miss a microphone na mute and unmute kasi same lang yung sinisend mo. And you are now doing a more straightforward system for your live stream audio. So there you go. Those are the benefits of having an auxiliary out para sa broadcast mix ninyo. If you still have more questions, comment them down below or message me. If you need consultation services for your church because you want to make your church system better, please go to my website. It's churchonabudgetph.com/consultation and let's talk. This is Kyle of Church on a Budget PH that aims to help churches become efficient and effective. See you guys in the next video and peace.